Today we're going to have a look at a problem that is often met by game developers. When they get a score and they increment it really fast, the text starts to jitter left and right. And so you'll often see the solution to this problem being simply replace your font with a monospaced font, and then this won't occur because the width of each character is the same. However, what happens if you don't want to use a monospaced font and you already have a font that you really like for your game and you want to keep using that font? Well, I'm going to show you a way to solve this problem that works with any font. So first of all, I'm just going to set my main camera background black, and I'm going to change from a skybox to a solid color. Next, I'm going to add a UI text component which we're going to use to show our score. I'm using the Text Mesh Pro. I'd recommend using that, just import it. I'm going to set my canvas to the camera, drop my camera in, and set my distance to 1. I'm just going to make my icons a bit smaller. Now I'll grab the text, place it in the middle of the screen, and I'm going to make it much bigger. And I'm going to center this. Next up, I'm going to make a folder for scripts. And I'm going to make a script called display score. Double click the script to edit it in Visual Studio. Let's start by adding the Text Mesh Pro library. And we'll add a public variable for our score, which will be the text UI component. And we'll need a variable to keep track of our score. We won't need our start function, so let's delete it. Now I'm going to make a function called increment score, and we're just going to call that from the update every loop rather than putting all of our code inside the update. And then we'll call it from the update. Now each frame, I'm just going to add a random number to the score so that it doesn't go up smoothly, and so there's a little bit of a, maybe some frames it adds 1, some frames it adds 3 or 4. And now if my score goes over 9,999, I'm just going to set it back to 0. That's because I've got 4 digits for my score. One more thing we have to do is we have to get our score out of our integer and place it onto the text object. Now let's save this and give it a try in Unity. I'm going to create an empty object for the code. I'm just going to drop the display score onto it, and I'm going to put a text score into the slot. Now let's just hit play to give it a go. And you can see here as it's increasing, you can see there's a little bit of jittering going on. So now let's go back to our script and fix that. Now to fix this, instead of using this line, which I'm now going to comment out, you can use a thing called set text. So I'm going to go text score.setText. Now to make this line work, we're going to need a couple of variables. We're going to need a variable for the width of each character. I'm going to use 0.7. You may need to change the number depending on how wide your characters are. And once we go back and test this, we may find that this number is not quite correct. Then above this line, we're going to have to make a score string. So we'll go string. I'm also going to just put in here 4 zeros, and this will add the leading zeros. So if say it's the number is 100, it'll go 0, 1, 0, 0. Or if the number is 10, it'll go 0, 0, 1, 0. So this is a good way to show a set number of digits. For a lot of games, I see this happening, that they put the leading zeros before a score. So going back to this set text line, what this does is it sets the space or the width of each character using this mspace command, and then it puts the score string after it. I just noticed I made a little mistake on this line. We also need this in here. I made a little mistake and I noticed that we needed these here, so let's add those in. Save it and go back to Unity and give it a go. And as you can see now, the score is nicely going up and there's no left or right jittering occurring. I hope this tutorial helps, and I think it's rather useful to not have to always just default back to a monotext font when there are other ways to solve the problem really easily. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe, like or comment. It really helps me grow the channel. I'm trying to grow it so that I can make more videos on a more regular basis. Hope you enjoy your game dev.